News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Gary Papa, Dave Roberts, and Jim Gardner.
Before, let's go. Good evening, I'm Renee Chenault.
And I'm Larry Menti. Our top story tonight on News 10, we are on Storm Watch. The latest computer models show a surprising change is coming our way tonight.
Let's get a check right now on conditions throughout the area. News 10 is live at Camelback Ski Resort. Oh my goodness, a beautiful shot of the steadily falling snow there. The Poconos are expecting at least half a foot, and no one there is complaining about a good start to the ski season.
Oh, sure, that's pretty, but take a look at this. There could be real troubles down the shore. News 10 is live in Sea Isle City, Cape May County, where rain has been pounding the beach through the night, and there's more in store.
That's right. The storm is bringing a night of drenching rain right here to Philadelphia. News 10 at Kensington and Erie in the Frankfort section of the city. Even with the right rain gear, it was still next to impossible to dodge the windy rain.
And this is where it all came from. Down south, including Georgia, slippery roads led to dozens of fender benders, with police filling out loads of accident reports. Some parts of the southeast got up to 4 inches of snow, a rare sight for this part of the country.
News 10 has live team coverage tonight. Glenn Hurricane Schwartz is in the Weather Center tracking the storm. Siani Lee is live at the shore, which is taking the brunt of it tonight. And Mike Strug in the Poconos, where they are calling this good weather. Let's start, though, with Glenn and the very latest from Earthwatch. Glenn.
Well, the rain actually stopped for a while pretty suddenly as the center of the storm moved east of Atlantic City, but now the rain is coming back, and there is even some snow around the Washington, D.C. area. Let's show you this on the radar, and you can see the heaviest stuff move through very rapidly on its way to northern New Jersey, but there's another band coming up from Washington, and it could hit the western suburbs with some snow before the night is over. Let's show you where the rain and snow is, and we will find that it's snowing in Washington, D.C., and in the suburbs there. It's still raining in Baltimore. We will have the latest on this storm, this rapidly moving storm, coming up a little bit later.
Okay, Glenn, we'll check back with you. We're going to continue our live storm watch coverage now down the shore. Residents there on the shore are expected to take a beating from this nor'easter. News 10's Siani Lee is live in Sea Isle City with the very latest on the situation. Siani.
Well, good evening, Renee. I guess you could call this the calm after the storm. The rain has stopped, and even though we are expecting a few more showers into the morning, it is a beautiful, crisp night here down the shore. Earlier this evening, the rain was very intense, and it did cause some minor flooding in Ocean City. In Ocean City, the heavy rain closed one lane of 9th Street near Bay. The high water took this driver by surprise, adding one big headache to an already miserable night.
Again, I kept trying to get out, but I didn't know that my tire was messed up.
Did you hit the curb?
I guess when we came out, we hit the curb, but you couldn't see because of all the water, and I didn't know where it was.
Near West Avenue and 4th Street, more flooded streets. But it didn't last long. Once the high tide ended, the waters receded. Back in Sea Isle City, Mother Nature gobbled up another few inches of the precious sand on the beach, bringing the ocean front ever closer to some residents' back doors. The mayor of Sea Isle City surveyed the damage.
Oh, overall, it doesn't look that bad. We suffered some erosion. 91st to 94th Street seems to have held up pretty good. Right here at 88th Street, as I said, we suffered some erosion, but overall it could have been much worse.
Well, here in Sea Isle City, there has been a big battle fighting the beach erosion here. Just last month, 2 storms washed away about 70 truckloads of sand that were brought in. Now, the big question for tomorrow is how will the flooding affect this area when high tide hits and the winds pick up? We'll be taking a look at the back bay areas and see if they're affected at all, and we'll bring it to you all live on News 10 today, tomorrow morning at 5:30. Live in Sea Isle City, I'm Siani Lee, News 10.
All right, Siani, good to see you dry. Now let's move north and west to the Pocono Mountains, where they're getting snow, and we'll go to our own snowman, News 10's Mike Strug, who is live with the latest. Mike?
On you, Huskies. Mush. I feel like an Arctic explorer. We came in search of snow, and we certainly found it. We drove up from the city earlier this evening, driving through pouring rain until we got about 10 miles south of Interstate 80, and then this, a winter wonderland.
It's great. It's snowing. It's been snowing now since about 6 o'clock. We've got about 3 inches of new fallen snow. And if this keeps up like this, we should have another 4 or 5 to add to it by morning.
You're a happy guy.
We're very happy here, and it's going to bring out a lot of skiers, and we couldn't ask for anything better. It's great.
Just great. While city slickers may be enjoying the rain, up here in ski country, snow is what it's all about.
Really enjoying this.
Yeah. We're from New Jersey. It's pouring rain there.
It's better up here in Pennsylvania. The snow is good.
Yeah, a lot better over here.
Definitely.
Can't play in the rain.
Nope. Rain's no fun.
We love to do this. We have a 17-year-old. He's been up here on the trails all day. He's having a ball. You know, it's a great getaway. It's a terrific getaway.
And Taylor, this is your first day? What'd you think?
I liked it.
You enjoy the snow?
Yeah.
Enjoy skiing?
Yeah.
Coming back?
Hmm.
How about rain? What do you think about rain? Snow is it?
Yeah.
Snow is it. And it is here, all you could ask for in the Poconos. Live at Camelback, I'm Mike Strug, News 10.
All right, Mike, get inside and have somebody brush you off, okay? Nice job. The wild weather caused scattered power outages in our area tonight. The storm knocked out a transformer in the West Oak Lane section of Philadelphia. It put the entire 7,000 block of Andrews Street in the dark. News 10 cameras were there as the problem got fixed and lights started blinking back on. News 10 will cover the storm through the night for you, so stay tuned to News 10 starting at 5:30 a.m. for the latest Earthwatch weather and road conditions from your local.
Out on the trail tonight of the storm, which appears to be changing at this very hour.
Take a look at this. This is what it looked like tonight driving along I-80 in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. The snow was falling steadily, laying a coating down on the road. How long will the snow fall tonight?
How long? Hopefully not long. Let's check in, though, with meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz. Glenn.
Well, the snow is going to continue up in the Poconos. They may total a foot of snow before it's all over, but around here, it's just about all rain, although there could be some snow flurries around the area, maybe even a snow shower during the day tomorrow. One place that kind of escaped the more serious problems at the shore, but they sure got a whole lot of rain. Take a look at our weather net. Stone Harbor Elementary in Stone Harbor. 43 degrees right now, the high today 48, the low 34. Look at the wind out of the southwest and only 3 miles an hour. The wind has shifted, the low is going by, humidity 99%, the barometer is now steady. 1.5 inches of rain, they had almost 2 inches in Atlantic City at the boardwalk. Today's high out at the airport, well, that was 43, the low 27, pretty close to normal. Look at the record low, -1. Tomorrow's record is -5. That's really cold air. But we had some fast relief tonight. The storm went right offshore, just off the Atlantic City shoreline. One of the buoys offshore reported 55-mile-an-hour winds and the lowest pressure. Temperatures way above freezing everywhere except for the Poconos. Winter storm warning continues from the Poconos westward tonight, although they haven't gotten a whole lot of heavy snow in central Pennsylvania like they have in the Poconos. Winter weather advisory continues for Allentown, Reading, and Lancaster, not so much for snow that's fallen, but some that's coming up from the south. But at the coast, downgraded the storm warning to a gale warning, and the flood warning has been canceled for tomorrow morning's high tide because the wind has shifted. As we were talking earlier, everything moving so fast, that's good news for the shore. Here's the heavy rain moving up through the area, but then there's another batch on the backside here. So we had a break, and now it's coming back, and it actually did change to snow in Washington. Some of this, as we head toward Lancaster, western Chester County, up toward Reading, will be in the form of snow. At 6 o'clock, rain across the entire area. There's the area of the mix, starting to move to the east a little bit, so the rain could change over to snow, especially in the western suburbs of Philadelphia. Temperatures remain above freezing and the roads are warm, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem by morning. There's the rain changing to snow in the Poconos, and we have the rain all the way down the coast, but the storm system has already moved past. The worst of the storm has gone, and now we're going to be left with windy and cold conditions for the remainder of the next couple of days. Tonight, periods of rain changing to snow west of the city. Temperatures down 30 to 35, but no serious problems expected. Windy and cold with possible flurries during the day. Highs in the mid-30s and wind chills 5 to 10. So winter coming with a vengeance.
South Jersey look fine, but you can see there's a lot of energy still associated with this system, and it's going to be coming through a little bit later before we get a changeover by tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures right now very mild. This is the main reason that we have rain and not snow. Lots of warm weather, if you will, coming in off the Atlantic, and that's kept those temperatures up. But in the southern Poconos. 1 to 4 inches of snow possible by tomorrow. 6 to 10 inches through the northern Poconos. So you can see that it is still creating some kind of a havoc out there, but that low is moving, and it is moving rapidly up the coast, dragging with it all of that rain and snow and leaving behind cold and windy for tomorrow. So that's what we'll be looking for. Also, that coastal flood warning has been canceled down along the shores. Rainfall totals, look at them, almost 2 inches in Atlantic City, almost 1.25 inches in Mount Holly. Philadelphia, almost 1 inch. So right now we've got cloudy skies. Those winds still out there at 17 miles an hour. What do we expect later on? Well, we're going to be dropping temperature-wise as the day progresses tomorrow. So it'll start out about 38 degrees with a chance of rain showers and then maybe snow showers by the afternoon. Temperatures dropping down to 25 at night. The rest of the week
It didn't happen tonight, Dave.
It was rain.
Oh.
That's it. It's that simple. As we said, the rain took precedence and the snow went to the west of us, fortunately, and up in some sections of the Poconos. Let's take a look at action radar. Here's the movement of the system. You see that heavy cell there just kind of moving away. That's the one that just hugged the coast, and you'll see rainfall amounts in just a couple of seconds. Break it down for us now, action radar. Where is the snow? Well, it's to the west. We saw earlier scenes from Pittsburgh, most of the state getting a decent amount of snow, and then that line in between, the sleet and the icy mix. Let's take a look at rainfall totals now. Philadelphia, see the numbers. Well over a ½ inch. If that was snow, we'd have anywhere from 6 to 8 inches, but it wasn't. Atlantic City, look at the airport, 1 inch and 3/4 almost. Wilmington, not much at all. Wrightstown, well over 2 inches of rain. Wind gusts, well, where were they? 35 miles per hour, that's the number for Philadelphia and AC. Wilmington, 31 miles an hour. New York City in Central Park, 48 miles an hour. There's always a lot of wind, though, in Central Park. Storm center moving away. As it moves to the north, it's going to give us that counterclockwise.
A storm system that dumps snow on the southeast is now charging northward up the eastern seaboard, bringing with it rain and snow. Good evening and welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Christina Abernathy. For more information on this Appalachian snowstorm, we turn now to Jeff Morrow in the Forecast Center for a complete update.
All right, thank you, Christina. And indeed, this storm has moved now mostly on up into New England and parts of Pennsylvania. Snow and sleet has pretty much ended in and around the D.C. area. It just kind of nicked the western suburbs with a little bit of accumulation. Same deal in Baltimore. But that's now ending from the south for the most part, and we're concentrating mostly into Pennsylvania, where we think there will be some snow. We'll show you where in just a moment, and on up into parts of New England and upstate New York, where there's still plenty of wind, rain, and some snow as well. Let's show you what we're looking at. I kind of zoomed in our satellite radar component. deposit. Wanted to show you this bright white area out here to the right of your screen. We can all thank our lucky stars that this subtropical moisture never really got completely involved into this system. If it would have, we would have been talking about tremendous amounts of precipitation. As it was, we picked up upwards of about a foot of snow down here in West Virginia, parts of western Virginia. It is still snowing fairly hard in parts of central Pennsylvania and northeast PA, but we think the real winners, if you will, if you like snow from this system, will probably be in parts of northeast upstate New York and northern New England. Now a little bit farther south, again, upwards of a foot there at Renwick, West Virginia, Beckley at 5, and earlier this morning, Charlotte at 3 inches of snow. We've been covering this system from both angles all night, from the snow aspect and from the wind and the rain along the coast. We're going to have live reports now from both areas. I'll get it out. Let's talk to Jim Cantori, first of all, in Bedford, PA, my home state. Jim, how's it looking?
Well, Jeff, we're one of those on the losing end of the snow tonight. You talked about the winners, and we're on the losing end of that. Here in Bedford, we've barely gotten about 1.5 inches. And the good news is, of course, for people traveling, obviously the roads have been fine. But if you remember as a child being a weather lover, that night where you expected 8 to 12 inches, no school the next day, you woke up and there wasn't anything on the ground. It's kind of feeling a little like that. But nonetheless, I want to show you our mass cam shot. You can see, I mean, they really haven't even had to scrape the roads, Jeff. And as you can see, the salt has done enough tonight with the type of snowfall that we've had, about 1 inch, 1.5 inches, to really eliminate a lot of the problems. Now, there are some untreated roads around here, and obviously those are going to remain slippery. And if temperatures drop behind the low, which they could tonight, and they stop treating the roads, we're going to have some slick spots. So I'm not saying, you know, the roads are perfect and clear, but I am saying, obviously, it could have been a whole heck of a lot worse. Now, I'm very surprised that there actually are still winter storm warnings up through Tuesday, but nonetheless, that's not my call. The type of snow we're dealing with here, a powdery snow, the kind of snow that you can't really make a very good snowman with, but nonetheless one that you smile a lot if you are a skier. Of course, some of the worst aspects of the storm we've seen tonight have been on the coastline with the wind and the rain. Let's go to Mike Seidel and see how he's faring in Sandy Hook this evening. Good evening, Mike.
Hello, Jim, and the wind has backed off a little bit. Northwest winds versus that onshore flow we had all evening, a sure sign the storm has passed by. The rain has shut off now. There's not anything falling, which is a real change. It started raining here this afternoon, all about 3:15, and then it really came down, and we had those winds gusting in excess of 60, probably as high as about 65 miles an hour. That's what I estimate. And then we also had a gust recorded over Long Island, not far from here, 75 miles an hour. The high wind warning set to expire in the New York City area in about 30 minutes. Your rain will end in the next hour or so. Could be a few more showers overnight, and out in the suburbs, some more snow way out there in the hills of northwest Jersey. Roads are in better shape now. The rain has ended, so we've had a chance for the water to drain off. And with an offshore wind taking over, that is not an eroding wind, so the beach erosion problems, any more beach erosion is very unlikely. So a few more rain showers overnight. The morning commute in the tri-state area looks pretty good. But again, if you're traveling north, up the thruway towards Albany, you'll run into some very heavy snowfall, and out towards Syracuse. So again, check ahead if you're traveling north, but for most of you in the tri-state area, pretty decent commute tomorrow morning after a very stormy day today. Back to you, Jeff.
As bad as that was, Mike, before we wrap it up here, you have to imagine how bad it could have been if it were a lot colder and that was all snow you were looking at.
We would have been looking at least a foot, if not maybe 1.5 feet of snowfall, and we would be probably up to here in snow. And you know, if you could think about that with 60-mile-an-hour winds, the drifts would have been amazing. But fortunately, it was liquid for those of us who don't want to dig out of 1.5 feet of snow, and we'll be back to work tomorrow in some way, shape, or form.
All right, thank you very much for reporting and really kind of sticking out those real strong winds earlier tonight. Thanks a lot. Mike Seidel reporting to us live from Sandy Hook in New Jersey. And now joining me at the update desk is Kevin Roth. And Kevin, let's kind of put a wrap on this one from the update desk. The storm by no means is over. In those areas we just talked to, Jim in Bedford, PA, and Mike up there at Sandy Hook, it appears that everything has really calmed down, and in those areas it has, but we still have a lot of storm to deal with here.
This storm is still very deep, and it is still strengthening somewhat, and it's lifting now across the Long Island Sound, and it'll be getting into Connecticut. So the gusty winds, and you had mentioned earlier, there's a high wind warning along the Connecticut coast for the next hour or so. Those gusty winds will be translating even a little bit inland, so inland areas, maybe about 30 miles or so inland, could expect some wind gusts on the 30 to 40 mile an hour range.
Okay, it could be some power outages and some trees down as well. Let's go ahead and show what we're talking about as far as the radar is concerned, and I'll put it on into motion here. Mike Seidel reporting to us from right there, Sandy Hook, and you can see the rain now lifting to his north, and Jim Cantor reporting to us over here in Bedford, and you can see the darker greens just to his east. Looks like from maybe Breezewood, PA on up through maybe University Park and Williamsport getting some of the snow now.
And it's gone over to snow in Harrisburg. We do have some colder air wrapping in. The upper level low is still back in this area over northern Virginia, and with some of that colder air lifting northeastward, it is starting to change the precipitation over from southwest to northeast now, from liquid to frozen precipitation.
Okay. And as Mike was mentioning here, looks like some of this rain may work its way back up to him in the New York City area, but it looks like the heaviest rain is probably over with. We've also been getting some reports of some sleet up here. In fact, right up here in the Delaware Water Gap, up to about 7.5 inches of snow.
What we thought was sleet earlier on the radar has turned out to be snow, at least down at the ground level. So they are getting some impressive snow totals, and I'm sure Sussex County, New Jersey as well.
All right, Kevin Roth, thanks a lot for keeping us updated here at the Update Desk. And again, if you want continual information on this system, you can always check us out at our website at weather.com. Right now, Christina, back in the studio, has a look at the rest of the nation's weather and that all-important forecast for tomorrow.
Thanks, Jeff. Most of the west is dry today, but high winds are still causing some problems. Meanwhile, parts of the Midwest were hit with snow today. The snow plows headed out in force earlier today in downtown Chicago. 1 to 2 inches fell in the area, which slowed down traffic just a bit. Temperatures were in the low 30s and gloomy skies prevailed. The snow will taper off soon, but you may get a few flurries tomorrow. Now let's see what's going on out there. The big picture, of course, Jeff just showed you the snow in the northeast and mid-Atlantic states. We also have some snow still lingering in parts of the south and also the Great Lakes region. We're dealing with a bit of lake effect snow here and some wintry precipitation through the northern plains and windy conditions in the west. We'll take a look at all of that. First of all, snow's still falling here in parts of northern Georgia, northern Alabama, and through Tennessee. And again, generally light snow for the most part, with temperatures in the low to mid-30s, Atlanta, Birmingham, and Nashville. And a look at the radar shows where the snow is falling at this point. And again, nothing terribly widespread. Nevertheless, the chance for some flurries overnight in places like Atlanta. To the north we go, and we are dealing with some lake effect snow here and the potential for some heavy amounts of snow into the central UP of Michigan. Look out for that. And the snow continues to fall over lower Michigan and even around Chicago. You've had some wintry conditions here too, and still some scattered showers around the area, around Gary and Joliet. Finally, to the west we go. Not a lot of precipitation here. We do have some windy conditions, and we also have some cloud cover, but underneath those clouds we are not dealing with much precipitation. But again, the winds will be quite strong here, so look out for that, especially as we head on into the Plain States and the Northern Rockies. Well, let's see what's in store for that forecast for the rest of the country. We'll still be watching the Northeast on Tuesday morning for snow with this low still around. Also some very windy conditions here. Offshore winds in this area could be quite strong. Snow, the Appalachians on into the northeastern U.S. Also watching this area of low pressure as it is going to drop off towards the south and the east, and we will have some snow with it. The west, not a lot going on here, but again, watching this low, maybe St. Louis getting a bit of snow as we head into Tuesday afternoon, and the snow still falling in the northeastern U.S., and we will still have some lake effect snows for the UP of Michigan and into lower Michigan as well. Heaviest amounts of precipitation expected in the northeastern U.S. We're not expecting much precipitation at all elsewhere, but here in the northeast, much of this will be falling as snow, especially through parts of New York and northern New England. Look out for wintry weather, and back towards the Appalachians on towards the south, we will see maybe 1 to 3 inches in western North Carolina. Of course, overnight, those temperatures are going to be pretty chilly out there, not only in the east but in the west too, with some of the higher elevations dropping below zero. Chilly in the upper Midwest too, and all the way down to the Gulf Coast we will see those temperatures dropping down into the 30s. So look out for that, the panhandle of Florida, as we head back on towards Louisiana and Texas. Here are those high temperatures for your Tuesday, and pretty clear that we've got a trough in the eastern U.S., and because of that we have got some very cold temperatures with 30s and 40s for highs well into the deep south. A little chillier in the upper Midwest in the teens, and a little warmer in Texas.